What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you come into the channel. Check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to speak on this Puff Daddy situation. As you probably know by now, Puff Daddy was sentenced to 4 years in prison. Um, and some people think that it's a light sentence. Uh, And I mean, I'm not sure if it's a light sentence. I'm sure Puff Daddy probably don't see it as a light sentence. And the reason why some people think it's a light sentence, if you think about like the entirety of Puff Daddy's career, everything that he has been involved in or connected to that was people that like they said was shady, then maybe it was a light sentence, right? You go back to the Tupac and the Biggie situation, that East Coast, West Coast, so-called war. You got two young rappers who lose their life. First Tupac, then Biggie. He's caught up in that situation. Then over the years you have had people talking about contract disputes where they didn't, people didn't get their masters and all that stuff, and they were saying that Puffy was, like he stole their masters or stole, like money from them and stuff like that, right? So all throughout the years, Puff Daddy has been like connected to things that have been kind of like seedy, underhanded, and maybe even some people probably feel illegal, illegal dealings. So now this situation you have with Puff Daddy and this trial, and he had to pay the young lady Cassie. I think she got like $30 million and stuff like that. With all that has going on, like I think Puff Daddy put himself in this position, in my opinion. Like he allowed his fame, his fortune, and the misconception that he had real power to all that, in my opinion, just went to his head. And he probably did some things. I'm not saying that everything was true, but he probably did some things that could have cost him more than 4 years. You know, and a lot of times when you fall out of favor with the powers to be, most of the time it don't end up like this. Like like a lot of when they want their money back, or you, like I said, you falling out of favor, it don't end up with you doing a 4 year sentence, or really what they said. I think it was 50 months or something like that. But he already have like 14, 13 or 14 in. So it don't end like that, you know. And a lot of times people, like when somebody mysteriously, succumb to something, it just don't end like that. So with the fact that, he'll be home in about what, how many months? I think they said like 37 months, because he already got like 13 in. So he'll be home in like 37 months. That's 3 years and a little bit over 3 years. But I don't, like I said, this right here, I think will be a lesson for guys who come in behind Puff Daddy, because they, like, if when you have this type of power, you fall for the trap that you can do anything. And then once they have all of this dirt on you, they could come up and use it at any time. And believe me, they will come back and use it, because everything that you have, they can take from you. And I don't know personally, I don't know how Puff Daddy is going to recover from this, at least financially. I'm sure that, like, probably his family probably will support him, once he get out, as far as like he probably will be still close to his kids and stuff like that. I don't know how many friends are going to stick with him through this situation, because right now he radioactive right now. And so then, not on top and only on top of that, not only is he radioactive, but he won't be in a position to do anything for anybody. So why would you want to be connected to somebody like Puffy who can't do anything for you except for maybe I mean, I don't really see anything that he can do for anybody. Like as far as like for business or something like that, that's it. That's it. And I'll be interested to see like how Puff Daddy makes a living once he's released from prison. As far as the music business is concerned, that's gone. I don't see any opportunities like in any other entertainment genre for Puff Daddy. I can't really see that. Whether it's new, like rap is dead anyway. So how he wouldn't be able to like have start a new group or put out new music or anything like that. I think that rap industry has really been destroyed. And part of the reason that is destroyed is because people like Puff Daddy allow himself to get sucked in like that, and they brought it down. They brought it that they brought it down from the top down. They brought that rap industry down, and now that's why rap is in the state that it's in right now. But for you know 3-4 years, whatever it is, however much time he do, I just think that it is I agree with a lot of people. It's a light sentence compared to what they really could have done to him. Remember, the prosecutor, the original two charges that that had left on the table was 10 years. He had two charges. Both of those charges carried 10 years. The prosecutor was asking for 11 years, I think over 11 years. So even that, the 11-year sentence, I think, would have been light compared to what they really could have done to Puff Daddy. But I think that this is about financially just crippling Puff Daddy and putting him in a position where, it just cost him a lot of money, lawyer fees and, people suing him. It cost him his image, his reputation. So yeah, this whole situation for Puff Daddy is just crazy. And that's not it's not a game that that people should want to play as far as, once you get into big business and you piss somebody off, like whoever make you can break you. And to me, it's just not really worth it. You think you have all this power, you think you have all this control, you think you are someone who is untouchable, but then when you piss off the wrong person, all this power and control and they give you just enough rope so you can do yourself in. And then once they tired of you, and then next thing you know, they got you in a situation where they got Puff Daddy. And I think a lot of these big time music moguls fall for this stuff. They do some shady stuff and they get caught in compromising situations. And then when it's time to pay the piper, if you look at all of it, like all of the let me see, Puff Daddy, then there's some allegations about Jay-Z, then you got Russell Simmons allegations about him. You know, who was the guy who passed? I mean, all of these guys at the top of the music industry have allegations about them, and have some type of something negative out there about their names. Even what's the guy from Baltimore? I forgot his name. Lyles, Kevin Lyles, right? I mean, there's whistles about all of these guys. And don't get me wrong, like they're not the only ones who do shady stuff. But they don't belong to that old boy network, right? And they're doing stuff, and I know a lot of these guys are really probably nervous right now because they know they did some things that they should not have done. They also know that the powers that be have proof. They can bring this to, they can bring them down the same way they brought Puff Daddy down. And so when you get into these big business situations, you just gotta You got to do things the right way. You got to be living right, man, because this is what they'll do. They'll bring you down once they get tired of you. Once you are of no more use, that's just what happens. So, yeah, Puffy is, in my opinion, he pissed off the powers of be. That's what all this stemmed from. And he's lucky to still be here. Basically, a 4-year sentence as opposed to what really could have happened to him. So that's how I see it. And I don't really get into like what he did do, what he didn't do, what he's guilty of. It's just so many people out there that are just saying that, he did them dirty. So he could have been gone for a longer time. I think a 4-year sentence, in my opinion, is light. So with that being said, man, y'all make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to leave a comment, and I'll check you all out in the next video. Peace.